Ain't no after winter comes the sun.
So how did this collaboration come up where these students at Berklee were actually, there was a course that was a Dwele's music course.
Yeah.
And so they immersed themselves in your music as a class. So how did that even come about?
So I think the director of the ensemble, the Dwele ensemble, was Tia Fuller. I think she's the one that brought it to Berklee. And I think she played saxophone for Beyonce.
Oh, really?
She's really dope.
Yeah.
Like I saw her last time, the last Detroit Jazz Festival. Not the one that just passed, but the one before.
Mm-hmm.
She came out for that, and we actually got a chance to kick it. But that was crazy. Like just to hear, Berklee is full of like aliens.
Yeah. Well,
for lack of a better term.
Well, you meaning from the talent base?
The talent,
yeah.
The writing,
Yeah.
just like some of the horn licks that they put together for some of the songs was just beyond me, and
I remember you being really touched
it.
because we met for a drink, then we went to the show, but we had to be, they were doing a recital basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were performing it. And so they ushered us up at this balcony because they didn't want anyone to see you.
Yeah.
And then, but I remember, you being really kind of blown away with the talent, what they did and how they played and interpreted your music.
It was just amazing, man. It's always crazy. Coming up being in music, that's what you want. You want to be able to get your music out there so people can hear it and hopefully, enjoy it and love it, man. And to know, for me to know that this is something that started in the back room of my mother's house off of Exit 9,
Exit 9.
And now all the way in Berklee, I have kids that probably were 2-3 years old when I made that music. They're actually performing this on stage, and I'm here to see it,
Yeah.
Like to see their interpretation of something I heard, of some mumble rap that I heard in my mind,
Right.
And it was just crazy, man. At a certain point, it turns to liquid. You know what I'm saying? It kind of turns to liquid, man. And I had one of those moments.
For sure, and also, Berklee's one of the most esteemed music colleges, schools in the world.
I remember that Berklee situation. I didn't want to do the panel at the end just because I know that they're all trained in music.
Right.
I was not really trained in music. A lot of the stuff I do, I just play what I hear.
It's feel, yeah.
And I was scared like one of those questions were gonna come up like, well, when you decided to go to an augmented ninth with the C, and why didn't you take it to a diminished fifth? And I didn't want to be like, I don't know Japanese. You know what I'm saying? And I felt that moment coming, man. I really can't remember what we talked about, but I felt like they kind of held back those technical, questions.
Yeah, they were more. It was more about they didn't get too technical.
Yeah, it was more about like.
But don't you think though that part of that you can be too technical with music and it loses, you lose whatever. There's something magical.
Yeah.
You have to have technical skills, but at some point you have to know those skills enough that you can break the rules.
Yeah.
To create something that's more about.
You know what? I think I'm finding a lot of that nowadays. I feel like it used to be, if you're too technical, then you have no feel. Most people with the feel probably don't have the technical behind it. But I feel like now, with the fact that you can get knowledge from anywhere, I think it's a lot of people like riding that fine line of technical and feel, and there's a lot of crazy musicians and artists coming out of that.
This Full Exposure podcast episode has been made possible through the support of Metro Health, University of Michigan Health, and Dr. Peter Hahn, who believe that creativity and the arts are essential to a rich, healthy, and fulfilling life.